Subscribe my channel for G and NEET.
Hello guys, good morning all. In our yesterday video, we was learned about the vectors and scalars. So coming to today our topic. So to describe the scalar quantity, we need some requirements. So first requirement it is, it has specific unit, and the second requirement it is the number of times of unit contain that quantity. So these two are the main requirements to describe or to define scalar quantity. So our question it is, if there is no specific unit, is it belongs to scalar or vector quantity? For suppose, the refractive index of the glass prism, it is equal of the glass mu z, it is equal to 1.5. So this is the digit value, numerical value. It has no unit. Still, it is belongs to scalar quantity. So what I am saying it is, if there is no unit, then it will be belongs to the scalar quantity. We cannot confine. If it has only the specific unit, then only it will be scalar quantity. It is wrong. So it is also a physical quantity which do not having any perfect specific unit, then it will be also scalar quantity. And coming to the vectors. So to describe the vectors, there is some features we needed. So that the first one it is specific unit, and the second one it is number of times of the unit contain the quantity, and third one it is the orientation. So that is nothing but direction of the quantity. So here a physical quantity which can having the specific unit and which can having the number of times of the unit that contains the quantity, and it is the orientation, and still it will not be a scalar quantity. So first suppose, coming to the electric current. So here electric current will be measured in amperes. It is current I, it is equal for suppose 10 amperes. So there is a point. So it is the 5 amperes, and it is the 5 amperes, and it is the 5 plus 5, it is 10 amperes. So by the Kirchhoff laws we can write that in this method, but still it is not a scalar quantity because of it has not obey the addition of vectors. So it will not be depends on the angle between these two currents flowing in the circuit. So that's why it is not a scalar quantity, vector quantity. It is the scalar quantity. So here we can't confine which physical quantity has the specific unit or which physical quantity has the specific direction. So if a physical quantity has no specific unit, it will be also a scalar. If a physical quantities all the specific units and the specific direction and the specific number of quantities, still it will not be a vector. It is also, there is a chance to be a scalar. So now today our class it is parallel shift of the vectors. Parallel shift of the vectors. What is the need of the parallel shift of the vectors? So here the need of the parallel shift of the vectors, it is to find the angle between any two vectors. To find the angle between any two vectors. So here, if there is a vector A and coming to the parallel shift, this is the vector A dash. So this is the parallel shift of the vectors. And this is a vector B. And coming to the another vector B dash. So this is also a parallel shift of the vector. So this is a vector C. And this is another vector C dash. So this is also a parallel shift of the vector. So this type of shift is known as the parallel shift of the vector. So this will be useful to find the angle between any two vectors. So here we have to explain with some examples. Here there is a vector A and there is a vector B. So the angle between these two are 90 degrees. For suppose, so this is the parallel shift of the vector B. So then the angle between these two also 90 degrees. And this is a vector and we can write, so this is another vector. So here the angle between these two are 120 degrees. And here the parallel shift of the, so this is the A and this is the B. The parallel shift of the B, it is here and the angle between these two is 60 degrees. And here there is a vector A and there is another vector B. The angle between these two is 60 degrees. So here there is a vector A and there is a vector B. So here the angle between these two, it is 150 degrees and the parallel shift of the B, it will be the B and the angle between AB, it is 30 degrees. So this is the parallel shift of the vectors. We have to find out the angle between any two vectors. So if the angle between A and B is equal to theta, the angle between A and B is theta, then the angle between A and KB is also same. So how it is possible? So here this is the vector A and this is the vector B. So the angle between these two, it is theta. And coming to the second point, then the angle between A and KB is also same. So this is vector A and this is the vector KB. So it is KB. So here the angle, it is theta. It will be same. So here K is equal positive constant. Whatever the constant value it is, it has multiplied by 2 or 3 or 4, whatever it is, K, it is the positive constant. And coming to the second one, the angle between A and B, theta, and then the angle between A and minus KB, A and minus KB is 180 minus theta. 180 minus theta. This is very, very important. So here, how we can write that? So here there is A comma B, A and B. It is the, and we can write that minus KB, it is nothing but we can extend the B vector, it is minus KB. So then the angle between A and minus KB, it is equal 180 minus theta. So this is the Here A comma B having the theta value, and A and minus KB having the 180 minus theta value. So these are the very important steps we needed to find the angle between any two vectors. And one more, it is third one, the angle between any two coaxial vectors. So already we told that in our yesterday class what is coaxial vector. So here, if two vectors having the same direction, so here not nothing but collinear vectors. If any two vectors are maintain the same line, which also can having the different directions. So these two vectors are having the same direction. From these are the parallel vectors. So hence the angle between these two, it is 0 degree. And here there is a two vectors with anti-direction. So this is nothing but anti-parallel or unlike vectors. So then theta it is equal to 180 degrees. So here what I am saying it is, the angle between any two collinear vectors must be 0 degree or 180 degree. 0 degree or 180 degree. So this is the main point. And coming to the next point. So here the displacement of the vector we can find from the various vectors. So this is a vector, what we have to take in, that is 4 meters of vector A, and this is the vector B having 5 meters, and this is the vector C having 4 meters, and this is the vector D having 5 meters. So what is the resultant vector? So here we need to find the displacement of all those vectors. Displacement, it is nothing but the distance, the shortest distance between initial point and to the final point. So then we need to add these two. So then from the figure we can write that as it is. So this is the vector A, and 4 will be, so this is the vector A plus C having 8 meter. So this is 4, and this is the vector having B plus D having 10 meters. So that is B plus D is equal 10 meter. And here the resultant vector will be, from these two we will be combined. So the resultant vector R. So here from the Pythagoras theorem we can find that where R square it is equal 10 square plus 8 square. It is equal 100 plus 64. It is equal 164. It is equal under root of 164. So this is the R square. So this is the R. So this is the displacement vector we have to find. And one more, the question it is, if A, B, C are the vectors as shown in figure, so then, so what is the figure? So we have to express, so this is the X, and this is the vector A having 30 degrees, and this is the X, and this is the vector B having 30 degrees, and this is the X, and this is the vector C having 45 degree. So now we need to find what is the angle between A and B, B and C, and A and C. So we need to find the angle between A and B, B and C, A and C. So from just we have to start from single point. So that was the point we have to take in. So this is the line which was x-axis, and there is a vector A, we can write as 30 degrees. There is vector B, we can write 30 degrees. And there is vector C, we can write it is 45 degree. So then the angle between A and B, it is A and B. So the angle between A to B. So this is the x-axis. So the angle between A and B, it is equal 60 degree. And the angle between B to C. So from B to C, it is from X to C, it is the C vector, it is the B, it is the A. So from x-axis to C, it is 45, already it has 30, and there is B and C, it has 15 degrees. And coming to the A, vector A, and to the vector C, so this is 60 and plus 15. 60 plus 15, it is equal 75 degrees. This is A and C. So this is the, we have to find the angle between any two vectors. So this method will be very useful to find any two vectors contains some angle, we need to find that. So dear students, we need to find any angle between two vectors. So it is more important. So please follow my lessons with your views. Thank you one and all.